Ayan, so good day, senior high school students. Welcome to Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. So since today is our philosophy day, we gotta talk about the part 2 ng lesson natin last time or part 2 po ng module 4 in connection to environmental aesthetics and sustainable development. So, part 2 po ng ating discussion at pag-uusapan natin sa araw na ito ang salitang prudence and frugality, including the major views of human beings. Okay? So, to know more about it, para maunawaan natin yan, wala na patumpik-tumpik pa, simulan na natin. Okay? So, I have here a question. My question to you, class, is how will you describe the college student? So, syempre, para masagutan yung question na ito, kailangan magkaroon tayo ng basihan para may ma-analyze tayo and masagot ito. So, this is the story. Okay? I have here a story which is based nga sa true story. And I want the class to answer this question. How will you describe this college student? So, this is the story. Sabay-sabay nating basahin, no? Para ma-analyze din natin at masagutan ang question na ito. So, a self-supporting college student works part-time as a service crew to be able to fund his education. He earns 2,000 pesos more than what he needs to pay for monthly expenses. With this extra money, he could have both the expensive watch he always wanted. Thinking practically, he decided to save his money in the bank instead. Ayan. So, I'm giving you a few seconds to answer this question. How will you describe this college student? And your a few seconds will start now. Then later on pala, I will call students who will share their answer in this class. So, start na po natin ang inyong timer. Ayan, so tapos na po yung ating timer. I know may mga kanya-kanya kayong nasa isipan na analyze nyo itong question na ito and at the same time itong story na ito. So based on this example, the student was shown to have a direction and control over what he needs versus what he wants by being prudent and frugal. Frugal with his money. So therefore, this reveals the word prudence and frugality. Ayan. So yan yung ating topic ngayon at pag-uusapan natin. So ano nga ba ulit tinatawag nating prudence? When we talk about prudence, it is the ability to regulate one's actions and behavior. It is also an ability to govern and discipline oneself by the use of reason. On the other hand, when we talk about frugality, it is the quality of being economical with money, or they call it as thriftiness, no? And it is the quality of state of being frugal, meaning you are careful in management of material resources, especially the money. So that's the formal definition of prudence and frugality. So again, pag sinabi po natin prudence is our ability to have a good judgment that allows us to avoid danger and risk. Meanwhile, pag sinabi naman nating frugality or frugal, it is the act of using money or other resources wisely and practically. I know some of you practical ina-exercise itong frugality na ito and at the same time the prudence, no? Like for example din po sa example sa situation or dun sa story natin kanina, no, it also shows prudence and frugality wherein the college student think critically na instead na bilhin yung watch is isave na lang yung money, no? Meron siyang good decision making, na isave na lang sa bank yung money na extra. So yung prudence dito nga is yung good judgment and yung reasoning niya na wag bilhin yung watch. Kasi later on or perhaps mas magagamit na may mas magagamit niya pa yon, no, sa susunod pa. Aside from that, it also exercise frugality. No, pag sinabi naman nating frugality, it is the act of using money or other resources wisely. And yun nga, practically. So same thing din sa example natin kanina. Of course, to make it practical, he saved his money at the bank. For him, parang hindi na magalaw pa at mas mailaan talaga sa needs niya, no? And yung meron siyang konsepto ng pagtitipid kaya hindi niya binili yung watch, yung expensive watch na ito, no? So with that, the college student, we're gonna describe the college student as the person who exercise prudence and frugality. Okay, so sa mga sumagot po dyan ng prudence and frugality, very good po dahil yun din po ang pinapakita ng story na ito. Okay, so itong mga values po na ito like prudence and frugality, it should not also be applied in personal setting. We know na ang environment ay nasa critical state na, no? So we can say na we need this kind of values to function efficiently and productively. And tayo, as a human being, tayo ang responsible enough to exercise prudence and frugality. Not just within ourselves, no? Kasi kanina, example kanina, more on personal, no? It is not just within ourselves, but also pwede natin itong magamit, itong values na ito, in taking good care of the environment. Now, another thing, we know naman class, di ba, na because of new forms of technological advancement that makes our life easier, it seems yung pag-demonstrate ng prudence and frugality towards the environment becomes a challenge to us. Kung mapapansin natin, no, based on our observation and our experiences, it becomes challenge to us, no? Lalo na hindi naman kasing bilis ng technologies ang process na makikita natin to see the natural beauty of the environment, no? Kaya kaya nga yung isa sa mga issue na biglang nag-boom ngayon ay yung NASA scientist, di ba? Yung mga scientist ng NASA, okay, it became viral because of their protest on the climate crisis. And according to them, yung climate crisis po is caused by burning fossil fuel. No, dahil kapag pinagpatuloy po yung ganitong klaseng advancement of technology din, pag pinagpatuloy ito, yung fossil fuel industry na ito, it will add more greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So magkakaroon po ng additional level of heating in the future. No, magkakaroon ng additional level of heating no ating atmosphere. Na kung saan it will result into suffering and death. Like dito sa Philippines, no, maraming lugar, because of this, no, kapag mangyari po ito, no, yung climate, yung as in pag-boom talaga, no, nung climate, yung paglala, nung climate crisis natin, dito sa Pilipinas, maraming lugar ang malulubog sa tubig kung ipagpapatuloy po ito. So, we need to step up. We need to move forward to have an action and exercise this frugality and prudence no habang student pa lang tayo no we need to exercise this one para on the long run kapag palagi natin itong ginagawa maaari nating ma-impluwensyahan yung ating family, yung ating friends no and at the same time makatulong kahit papaano no on our way para ma-minimize itong climate crisis na ito. And alam ko, no, ayaw nyo naman na mangyari na yung mga kaapu-apuhan ninyo ay wala nang makitang mga puno, wala nang makitang halaman. So let's join together, let's come together, and exercise this one. Frugality and prudence, not only on our personal matters, but of course, to take good care of our environment. Okay? So, kung nakasabay sa ating discussion for today at kung naunawaan kung ano nga ba ang prudence and frugality, so ipagpatuloy na po natin. Ayan. Ayan, so in connection to this, no, masasabi po rin natin na it takes time, yun nga, and effort talaga para makita natin yung natural beauty. So, if we're going to look deeper in exercising prudence and frugality towards our environment, yun nga, we can say na it is both personal and collective responsibility. Or ang prudence at frugality ay hindi lang po dapat taglayin ng isang tao. Dapat sana, no, may response din ang lahat ng tao, especially the government, to attain this what we have, sustainable development. So because of this climate issues na nag-boom ngayon, no, at lalong-lalo nag-protest ang mga nasa scientists, sana naman, no, maging aware ang bawat isa sa atin to exercise this one and to take good care of our environment. Okay? So, since naunawaan nyo na, and hoping talagang naunawaan ang pinagkaiba ng prudence and frugality at kung ano yung maitutulong nito when it comes to our environment, ayan, may hinanda akong question dito. Ayan. So, I just want to ask you, class, a question. Can you please cite some examples on how you will exercise prudence and frugality towards to our environment? So I'm giving you, for our activity for today, I'm giving you a few minutes to think some examples on your own. And make sure it is applicable, realistic, kaya ninyong gawin. Okay? And then later on, I will also give my own examples of it. No? By the way, I want you class to write it down sa kahit saang papel kasi later on, i-upload natin yan sa ating Google Classroom at we will observe kung talaga magagawa nga ba ng bawat isa sa inyo yung inyong inalagay when it comes of showing prudence and frugality towards our environment. Okay? So again, I'm giving you a few minutes to answer it and your timer starts now. Ayan, so sa mga nakapagbahagi na ng kanilang mga answers, ayan, congratulations dahil na-demonstrate nyo ang prudence and frugality at sana talaga maging visible ito at makita ko talaga na na-exercise nyo po ito, no? So, in addition to that, may mga examples din po ako dito that really help us in demonstrating prudence and frugality aside sa shinare. Ayan, sa sinabi ng mga classmates nyo kanina or ng mga students dito when it comes to prudence and frugality, kung paano nga nila ito gagawin. So, I have here another examples din po para maging guide din natin at pwede rin po nating magawa on our own. So, number one, cooking and consuming little food, no to leftovers. Ayan. Number two, planting trees in the placement of cut down ones. Number three, employing waste segregation strategies in the community and recycling reusable materials. So yung tatlong ito, no, itong tatlong bagay na ito, alam ko, dahil nasa kanya-kanyang mga bahay, no, kaya nyo itong gawin. Kaya sana, let's make it, let's come together and let's take it into action. No, itong demonstrating prudence and frugality na ito, no? Ayan. And that is my own way on how to showcase prudence and frugality. And as a human being, we should have a profound respect for our nature. Ayan, so sana po naunawaan at sana ma-apply po talaga natin itong prudence and frugality na ito. Now, let's move on to the three major views on humanity to environment. Wherein, this pertains to our relationship with the nature. Like first, let me introduce to you the anthropocentrism. So when we talk about anthropocentrism, it focuses on the significant role of the humankind in the world and considers nature as the means by which humans are able to meet their needs and survive. This view believes that humans are the most important species on the planet and they are free to transform nature and use its resources. So therefore, ayan, so sa madaling salita po, ang anthropocentrism considers human as the most significant species nga on the planet. And in other words, it is human-centered lamang po. Meaning, ang concern lang ng tao is kung paano siya mag-survive. He only protect what is beneficial for him. Aside from that, human also free to use everything na nasa paligid niya. Wherein siya nga yung superior, siya yung dominant na may kakayanang mag-transform ng environment to the good one or a bad one. So ano kayo dyan? Anthropocentrism ba kayo? Na feeling nyo, ako yung superior, ako yung dominant, ako dapat ang bahalang mag-transform and gumamit ng mga resources na meron dito. Pwede nyo itong pwede nyo itong gawin as a way para mag-protect or kayo ba yung tipo ng tao na magsisira din sa environment natin. Okay? So that's anthropocentrism. Kumbaga, human-centered. The dominant here is the human. So human yung nasa pinakatuktok, pinakasentro. Next, when we talk about biocentrism naman, ayan, in other words, para mas mabilis po natin ito maintindihan, no? It is a view that all living things or species deserves to gain equality, or it means lahat ng organisms is equal in importance. So when we talk about bio, ayan, may equality. Ayan, may equality yung tao and yung environment, yung mga animals, yung ibang mga living things ay may parehas na ginagampanan when it comes to environment. Yan. So that's biocentrism. Ang center is the human and at the same time the other living things or other species have their equality. Okay? And lastly, when we talk about ecocentrism naman, when we say ecocentrism, ito naman is yung klase ng philosophical view na ang lahat ng member na ecosystem, habitat, species, and populations are all parts of environmental concern. So, kumbaga, ito ay nature-centered. Okay? Ang sentro nito ay nature or ang environment ang center nito. Okay? So, unlike sa anthropocentrism, na ang center is man or the human being. Dito naman sa ecocentrism, ang sentro ay ang nature or ang center ay nature or ang environment. Ayan. So, we can say, class, no, na ang humans ay part ng environment. And based observation natin, we are the ones who actually shape our natural world and transform it into something. No, it could be a disaster, disorder, or perhaps make it beautiful. So, sana may natutunan kayo sa araw na ito at naniniwala ko na ang bawat isa dito ay maia-apply yung mga bagay na ito na kanilang natutunan. Lalo na kung ayaw natin na maabutan ng ating mga anak, ng ating mga kaapu-apuan, wala na tayong makita ang mga puno, mga halaman, yung mga hayop na nasa paligid natin. Okay? So for us to confirm or for me to confirm kung talagang may natutunan pa talaga kayo, let's have the assessment. Para dito, I prepare a set of questions, then I want you class to answer this question based on how you understand our lesson for today. So, number one question. Ayan. So, your younger brother has leftover in his plate. What will you tell him? Is it letter A, shout at him and force him to eat what he left on his plate? Or letter B, telling him nicely that we have to conserve our resources for the future use? Or letter C, report him to your parents? And lastly, letter D, slap his face so he can realize his fault. Ano po kaya ang tamang kasagutan niya dito? So I'm giving you a few seconds to answer this one. So your timer starts now. Ayan, so ano po kaya ang tamang sagot dito? Tapos na po ang ating timer. The correct answer here, tingnan natin, is, ayan, letter B po. Letter B, we're in telling him nicely that we have to conserve our resources for the future use. Okay? Ayan, so para sa mga sumagot ng letter B, again, congratulations and tama po ang inyong kasagutan. Okay? Now, for the second question, sabi dito, no, Ella repaired her umbrella using materials she got from their backyard. She offers help to her friend, Marina, to repair her broken umbrella. Ella shows what? Is it patience, prudence, frugality, or thrifty? Ano po kaya ang tamang kasagutan dito? So, pakaabangan natin yan. And again, I'm giving you a few seconds to answer this question. And your timer starts now. Ayan po, no? So, tapos na ang ating timer. So, ano po kaya ang tamang kasagutan dito? Let's reveal. Ayan. So, para po sa mga sumagot ng letter B, again, tama po inyong kasagutan. It's prudence. Ayan. Prudence po ang tamang kasagutan for this question. Next question po tayo. Okay. So, this one. As signatory to Kyoto Protocol, our government has enacted laws to combat environmental problems that contribute to global warming, except, is it A, Clean Law, B, Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act, letter C, Clean Air Act, or letter D, Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Ayan ha, so itong question na ito ay na-encounter na po natin, yung answer dito ay na-encounter na po natin sa module 4 part 1 ng ating discussion. So tingnan natin kung may mga nanood ba ng video, yung video ko nung part 1. Okay, so ano po kaya ang tamang kasagutan dito? So let's reveal. Ayan, letter A. So again, the question here is, does not contribute to global warming. And again, that is letter A, which is train law. Kasi yung letter B, C, and D ay tumutukoy po sa pag-resolve din. So, mga programs and mga laws in accordance on how to contribute to global warming. Okay? Next, for the next question, tingnan natin kung meron pa ba. Ayan. So, Antonio is an impulsive buyer that he never thinks twice before he buys anything. Maraming ganyan dito, no? So, he lacks what? He lacks the virtue of A, frugality, B, prudence, patience, or humility. So, ano po kaya ang tamang sagot? So, let's reveal. Ayan, may mga students na akong nakikitang sumasagot. So, the correct answer here is the letter A, it's frugality. Yeah, wala siyang frugality. Now, another question, last question, number 5 question. Now, Nora is cautious before she buys anything from the grocery store. She exhibits a virtue of patience ba ito? Prudence, frugality, or humility. So, ano kaya ang tamang sagot? I'm giving you a few seconds for this, and your timer starts now. Ayan, so ano po kaya? Tapos na po ang ating timer. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? Let's reveal. It's letter B. So, para sa mga sumagot ng letter B, congratulations dahil tama ang inyong kasagutan. At para sa mga naka-perfect, ayan, meron akong hinanda sa inyong tropeyo. And again, thank you for watching. So, para sa mga nakaabot hanggang sa dulo ng aking assessment, maraming salamat and see you next time para sa ating mga videos. More videos to come para sa ating subject na philosophy. Okay? So again, that ends our lesson for today. Goodbye, class! Goodbye, senior high school students!